the last session we discussed about some range commands. Suppose when you are using VI editor, if you want to move cursor between the words or lines or characters, we can use these commands. Suppose I want to move some 5 characters forward or 5 characters backward, or I want to move the cursor to the above line or to the below line. Okay, above line, beginning of the line, or below line, beginning of the line. Okay, so to move the cursor in your VI editor, we can use these commands. Okay, so character movement, H and L, small letters. Okay, so this will move a character before and this will move character after the current character. Okay, before the current character, after the current character. As well as we can specify some range like 4H. So 4 characters before it will move the cursor. Okay, so these are all cursor movement commands. Using these commands we can change cursor very quickly. Okay, in command mode we can also use arrow keys, but some editors will support and some may not support. In that case we have to use only commands. Okay, so arrow keys, left arrow, down arrow, up arrow, right arrow. So these arrow keys we can use to move the cursor, but still it takes some time to move the cursor. Suppose you are there in the middle of the line. Okay, if you want to go to beginning of the line, then definitely it will take some time and you need to press one arrow key number of times. Okay, instead of that we can press 0. Your cursor will be moved to the beginning of the line. So dollar will take to the end of the line. Okay, so like this. So minus means place the cursor before line. Okay, so to the current line it will place the cursor before line beginning. Okay, so this is next line beginning plus symbol. Next to KJ, to move the cursor up and down, to move the cursor up and down. Next we have seen B. B means backward. Okay, so it will move the cursor backward word by word, and it will place at the beginning of the word. Okay, W means forward. Okay, so it will take, W means it will move the cursor forward direction. Okay, and place at beginning of word. Place the cursor at the beginning of the word. So it will move forward but at places at beginning of the word. Okay, fine. Next one, E. E means end of the word. Okay, E means end of the word. It will move the cursor to the end. We'll see. 1 minute. Okay, I'm back. So here E command means end of word, forward direction, right? Let us check this. We'll change to our directory, that is CSR. Now here some files are there. We'll take one file. Yes, here it has some words, lines. Okay, yes, we'll take this file. So here this command, E command, it will move the cursor one word forward, but it will place at the end of the word. See here I am pressing E, small e. See here it is placing at the end of the word. Now again if I press E, it will place it is, in is I, S. It will place it S, D, next to E. This is end of line. Okay, fine. If the cursor is placed here, now if I press E, it will place at end of this word, that is S. Next, if I press again E, it will place at the end. Okay. So what is the use of this command again? See here, if I want to move to this D, I need to press either right arrow, or L. Okay. For many number of times. Instead of that, I can press just E. It will take end of the word. Okay. So this is word cursor word movement commands. Okay. See here. Suppose I want to move some three words. Now you can press 3E. 3E. It will move three words forward and the cursor will be placed at end of the word. Okay. See here. I am placing the cursor at the beginning. Okay. Now to move the cursor, I want to move to E, this character E. Okay. So how many lines I should move? 4 lines. Okay. Sorry, 4 words. Okay. I want to move the cursor here. Okay. So this is, there are 4 words. 1, 2, 3, 4 words are there. Okay. Now to move the cursor here, we can press 4E, numeric 4 and E immediately. 4E. It will move the cursor to the 4 words forward and the cursor will be placed at end of the word. Okay. So this is command E. If it is B, B means backward and the cursor will be placed at the beginning of the word. B means backward. So the cursor will be moved backward. Okay. To move forward, we can use W. It is very easy to remember, like W means word. Okay. So word forward. Cursor will be placed at the beginning of the word. In these two examples, the cursor will be moved, these two commands, that is B, small b and small w. So in these two commands, the cursor will be placed at the beginning of the word. In the command E, the cursor will be placed at the end of the word. Okay, fine. Here we can use some values also. Suppose I want to move some 3 words forward or 3 words backward. In that case, we can use 3 and the command. Okay. Now I want to move 3 words forward and I need to place the cursor at the beginning of the word. Then I can use 3W. It will move 3 words forward and the cursor is placed at the beginning of the next word. Okay. So 3 words forward and the cursor is placed at the beginning of the word. Okay. So these are word cursor movement commands. We have 3 commands: B, W, E. So these 2 commands will place the cursor at the beginning of the word. So this will place at end of the word. Okay. So this will move the cursor forward. Okay. Move the cursor forward. So these two, backward and forward. Okay. So here the difference is, both will place the cursor at the beginning of the word. Okay. So next, here in this case we have seen how to move lines. Okay. Beginning of the line, end of the line, previous line beginning, next line beginning. Here this is a line up and down. Okay. how to move the cursor a line up and down. So these are all cursor movement commands. Okay, but range commands. Range commands means these commands are applying on more than one character. Like suppose you are moving the cursor one word. One word means that word may contain more than one character. Okay, fine. Next one, sentence commands. Okay, we have two commands. One is open parenthesis, another one is close parenthesis. Open parenthesis and close parenthesis. These two designators are used to move the cursor beginning and end of sentence. Beginning and end of sentence. So this will move to the beginning of the sentence. This will move the cursor to the end of the sentence. Sentence is nothing but, see here, I am keep on typing the some text. Just I'll type one small paragraph. Okay, one small sentence, not paragraph. A paragraph with more than one sentence. Okay, I'll type a small paragraph with more than one sentence. See here, this is one small paragraph, and this paragraph here I'm pressing enter. Fine. See, when you press enter, this will be treated as one paragraph. Here in this paragraph contains two sentences. Okay, two sentences. Sentence is nothing but from the first character to the full stop. First full stop. Okay, so up to here this is one sentence. Next we'll give one space. Next paragraph, next sentence will be started, and up to full stop this will be the second sentence. So this entire thing is a paragraph. Here this is the paragraph. This paragraph contains two sentences. Okay, fine. I'll copy the same and I'll paste it in the VI editor, I mean in this file. I'll copy this. See here, I want to insert this copied text to the next line of this one. Then we can use the command small o. Okay, so it will insert a new line after the current line. Okay, now paste it. How to paste a copied text? Shift insert. So this command will paste the copied text. See here, fine. Now here I am pressing enter, right? It's okay. I'm going to save this. And close this. Now see what is the content of this file. So this is the content. I'm opening this file. Okay. See here, the cursor is placed here at this character A in this paragraph or line. Okay, fine. Now here if I press open parenthesis, it will take the cursor to the beginning of the sentence. Means up to here this is the sentence. Your cursor is placed somewhere in the sentence, and if you press open parenthesis, it will take to the beginning of the sentence. Okay. It is moving to beginning and end of the file. It's a small file. Okay, I save this. Open parenthesis. Now see here, up to here previously it was treated as only one sentence. Now here two empty lines are there. Okay, so this is one paragraph, and here in this paragraph, before the paragraph there is a line, I mean empty line, and after this paragraph there is a line. Now this will be treated as a paragraph. Okay. In this paragraph, here it has some sentences like up to here this is one sentence and this is another sentence. Okay. Now cursor is placed somewhere in this paragraph. Now use this command open parenthesis, it will take the cursor to the beginning of the sentence. Okay. Close parenthesis, it will take the cursor to the end of the sentence. Okay. Here it is treating as only one sentence. Okay. Next one, open and close curly braces. Actually, if you follow the paragraph sentence rules, then it will be good. So here it is as per the MS Word, it is okay. But as per the Unix operating system, it is not treating as a sentence. It is treating the whole thing as a sentence. Okay. It's okay. So next paragraph. Next one, paragraph commands. So open curly brace and close curly brace. Open and close curly brace. These two designators are used to take the cursor to the beginning and end of paragraph. Okay, end of paragraph. Beginning and end of paragraph. So these two are beginning and end of sentence. Okay, fine. I'll see these two. It works like see. Now I'm somewhere in the paragraph. Okay, so it should be paragraph means we need to continuously type the text. Okay, fine. Now press open curly brace. It will take to the beginning of this paragraph. That is, it will take to the cursor take to beginning of the paragraph. And if you press close curly brace, end of the paragraph. Okay. For sentence also, it is executed like this only. It is supposed to be here for sentence, end of the sentence, but it is moved here. Means the whole line. I mean, these two are treated as paragraph. Okay, sentence. Fine. Open curly brace, it will take the cursor to the beginning of the paragraph, and close curly brace will take the cursor to the end of the paragraph. Okay. See the cursor movement. Beginning, ending, beginning, ending. Okay. So curly braces will for paragraphs, parenthesis for sentence. Okay. So to move the cursor between sentences, you can use open and close curly braces. Sorry, parenthesis. These two will move the cursor to the beginning of the paragraph, sentence, and end of the sentence. And curly braces, paragraph, beginning and end of paragraph. Okay. So next to screen. Okay. Screen means beginning of the screen, that is nothing but top of the screen and bottom of the screen and middle of the line. Okay. Suppose whatever the text you can see, we need to open one file which is big. Let me close this one and I'll open computer.txt file. Oh, there is spelling error. Computer.txt. Fine. See here, you are seeing the cursor here. Okay. Here, if you press capital L, it will take the cursor to the middle. Okay. It will take the cursor to the middle of the screen. Okay. Next to capital H means it will take the cursor to the beginning of the screen. Okay. So here this is the beginning of the screen. End of screen means it will be somewhere. End of the screen will be somewhere here. Okay. See, your cursor is placed here. If you want to take the cursor to the beginning of the screen, you can use the command capital H. Capital H. It will take the cursor to the beginning of the screen. Okay. Now, see, I'll take this one. This will be the best place. Right. Okay. See here, your cursor is placed somewhere. You want to move to the beginning of the screen. only the screen, not the file. Okay, so to move the cursor to the, maybe I lost connection. Yes, it is good. Okay, hello, hello. Okay, fine. Now the cursor is placed somewhere in the text. To move this cursor to the beginning of the screen, use the command capital H. Okay. Next, capital L. This command will move the cursor to the middle of the screen. Okay. Capital L. See, it is moving here. Okay. So it is moving to the bottom. To move the cursor to the middle of the screen, M. Capital M. Okay. So capital M for middle, L for lower means bottom, H for beginning of the screen. Beginning of the screen for middle, the command is M. Capital M. Okay. Middle of the screen and bottom of the screen, capital L. Okay. So these are the commands to move the cursor in a screen. I'll write down here. So this H, move the cursor to the beginning of screen. L, move the cursor to the bottom of screen. Only screen, not page. And M is to move the cursor to the middle line of screen. Okay. So these three commands are screen movement cursor commands. Cursor screen movement commands. Okay. Capital H, beginning of the screen. L, bottom of the screen. M, middle of the screen. Okay. Fine. And the last command, and that is file. Okay. So in the file, suppose your file is very big, it contains some hundreds or thousands of lines, and if you want to move the cursor to the last line in the file, then you can press capital G, last line in the file. See here, I am moving this cursor to the beginning of the screen. It is here. I want to move to the end of the file. Okay, end of the file means there are so many lines in this file, right? Fine. I am placing at the beginning. See here, somewhere. Now, if you press capital G, the cursor will be moved to the last line in the file, and the cursor will be placed at the beginning of that last line, capital G. Okay. So this is the beginning. This is end of file. See here, bottom you can see this symbol. See, negation symbol. So generally you can see this symbol at the end of the file. Okay. So this is end of the file and the cursor is placed at the beginning of this line. So up to here, this entirely it is only one line. This is only one single line. Okay. It is only one line. Fine. So these are the range commands. Let me write this. Beginning of last line or end last line in file. Okay. So the cursor will be placed at beginning of last line in the file. Okay. Your file may contain some hundred or thousands of lines, but this command will take the cursor to the end of the file. Okay. Last line of the file. Okay. Fine. So here, how to move the cursor between characters, how to move cursor between lines, how to move cursor between words, how to move cursor between sentences, paragraphs, screen and file. Okay. And file. Okay. with this all these commands, I mean most of the commands we can use. Suppose, see, I want to move some 4 words forward, then you can use, I'll write down example here, like, see, I want to move the cursor 4 words back. Okay, then you can use, hello, my god, hello.